I would like to read about how people can get involved in our meeting tonight. So first of all, you can, yes. Oh, okay. Virtual public participation instructions. To view meeting, click on the link to the City of Seaside YouTube channel. To view or participate in the meeting, use the Zoom application on your smartphone, laptop, tablet, or desktop. Webinar ID number 814-0330-1073. To listen or participate by phone, call 669-900-9128. Enter web ID number 814-0330-1073. To make public comment by email, it has to be received by 2 o'clock today of the meeting. During the meeting, when chair calls for public comment, members of the public participating in person may approach the podium when the chair calls for public comment. Public participation on Zoom can speak after raising hand feature. Zoom application, click the raise hand button on the phone, press *9 to raise hand and press *6 to unmute. Public comment is 3 minutes for each participant. Okay. So now we'll go to roll call.
Commissioner Alexander.
Here.
Commissioner LaBouffe. Commissioner Costello. Commissioner Oleda Reed. Commissioner Meyer.
Here.
And Chair Riordan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
And number 3, review of the agenda. If there are any items that arose after the 72-hour posting deadline, this is the point to end the meeting where a vote may be taken to add the item to the agenda. Is there anything anybody would like to add?
Chair,
Yes.
not to add anything, but see if we can change something. The roll call for number 2, it says homeless commission. If we just so we can eliminate having to for the final minutes for next month, if we can have that change now to a neighborhood improvement commission.
Yeah, I never noticed that. Sure. Is there?
I second that.
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I don't know if this needs to be under review of agenda, but under approval of minutes, approved minutes from March 13th, 2025 should read approved minutes from April 1st, 2025.
Okay.
So one of us has to make that motion. So I'll make that motion to change that to April 1st, 2025.
Second.
I second that.
Right.
And Chair,
Yes.
I did notice that in the minutes from last month, we had the discussion on the city's marketing company creative video. I did not add that to the agenda, but I would like to get more information about see what I did have an email to Mr. Mewis and I did not hear back. So I would just like to see if anybody has any information on that.
Anybody have any information on that? Okay, we'll fill it in the other and then we'll bring it up.
Oh.
I think we need to vote to add it to the agenda
Okay.
because it's not on there.
Okay. First, let's vote on the April 1st and the changing of the homeless commission. All for that?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? It passes.
Okay, a motion that we add to the agenda discussion on having the city's marketing company create a video for more information on that.
Second.
Any discussion? The yeas?
Aye.
Nays? That passes.
Thank you.
All right.
So we're gonna make that D.
That'll be item under 6, item D.
Okay. Jenna, can you repeat the title again? Discussion having the city's marketing company create a video for the commission to highlight completed projects and to fill vacancies on the commission. So we can get more information.
All right, public comment is now open.
Chair,
Yes.
just before we start, can I back up? Because I think I'm just, I'll make sure we have this process correct. So we had voted to change the minutes from March 13th to April 1st, I believe. That was in the just a month, but I don't know if we took a vote to approve the minutes of themselves. Did we? We didn't. So I believe we have to approve the minutes in and of themselves.
It's number 5. It's after public comment.
Yeah. Okay. Very.
Am I, oh, I thought I caused something to buzz. Hi, Diane Nielsen, Seaside resident. Good evening, commissioners. I wanted to thank the people who did come to the last meeting regarding the first reading of the resolution to change the Neighborhood Improvement Commission's allocations. I am really disappointed in the city council's vote to go forward with this because there is still no logical reason for them to do this. The only thing I've heard is the mayor deflecting to maybe they don't want to approach some people that are on the Neighborhood Improvement Commission, and it doesn't make sense to me. There's probably some people they wouldn't want to approach on the city council either. It is not a logical thing to do. It's going to weaken the NIC's status and their your ability to know how to move forward carrying things out, because the city council is going to be talking to people and you're going to be talking to people. And what if it's the same thing? Who do they go to? Well, the city council only has 15% of your money. And so, maybe they should take some more of the money so they can get done what it's going to cost more than 15%. The process is working the way it is. And the mayor is deflecting by saying, it's not about the people on the commission. It's not about them. And I don't know why people are saying that. I don't know who's saying that. I don't know anybody that's saying that. So it sounds like sort of an argument that was pulled out of the air so he could not really tell you, or not just him, but the city council. They haven't said, well, what can we do that's better? What can we do that's going to add to the effectiveness of the NIC other than there's more people to go to? It's going to be like a parallel system where you might have the same idea that the city council has. How do you know that? You could be working on the same thing. Did the city council, I mean, you can't answer this, but did the city council ever tell you that they were going to be doing this? And if they did they have any sort of communication with the chairperson and the chairperson talking to the commission? It doesn't make sense. And they have the final approval of everything anyhow. So that's how I feel about that. My recommendation to you is to come to the second reading, See if you can bring more people to the second reading if they are opposed to it also, or if they are for it, either way. But get more people involved in this second reading that's going to happen at the next meeting. And also in your job that you do as volunteers on the commission, reach further. Like you say, you're going to make a video, I guess, to get people on the commission, but reach further into your community. I know that you work really well with the other commissions, and I know Dennis is one of the advocates of that, and I know you all are. But reach further in the community somehow to get ideas, and maybe some people don't agree. I mean, on the things that you do recommend or you're looking for to recommend. How many, do I have any more seconds? Oh, you didn't? Oh, good, because I want to say something else, which is really far out there.
We'll start the time.
Okay. So I've been thinking about how diverse Seaside is and how it would be nice to add more vibrancy to our community. And I don't know how it would be done. And it's kind of a far-fetched idea, is to encourage people to paint their houses in bright colors. You know, the bright yellows, the bright bricks, we have some bright blues, we have lots of tan and white, but we don't have enough color in our community. And we are such a diverse community, we should capitalize on that. I would love to paint my house a different bright color with the help of neighborhood improvement. Not that they could paint a whole house, but something along those lines, something to highlight our neighborhoods. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There is no one online. We can close public comment.
Public comment is closed. Did anybody have any responses? Want to say or? No?
I just appreciate what Ms. Nielsen had to say. I appreciate it very much.
And I appreciate your support.
Same here, Diane. You've always been very supportive of the NIC. I just want to address one of the comments you said about the house painting. We would just have to, for that to be a project under the NIC, we would have to speak with the I mean, my assumption is we would have to speak with the city attorney, because now we'd be going onto private land to, you know, paint private houses with a public commission. So I don't know how that would work. We'd have to speak with the city attorney to see if we could actually make that some, you know, a project. But it's a great idea. Thank you.
But it's something we could always encourage through our commission. We could encourage homeowners to do that. I mean, the house at the end of my street is bright purple, and the house across the street is bright orange, and mine is teal green. So you're speaking my language, lady.
Yeah, it's a good idea, it really is. Alrighty, let's review and select the house of the month
Oh,
for
minutes.
April.
Approval minutes, number 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, you gotta
It's okay.
skip that. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes from April 1st?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve. We've already approved the change in the month, but this is to approve the minutes of themselves.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all in favor for the approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Nays? Pass. Number 6A, review and select the house of the month for April and May, which was done by Ramon. Councilperson.
Oh, this lady's outside. why you're taking the picture.
Yeah, she was there. I was like, can I take a picture of the house? And she ran over there and said, yeah.
Did you tell her what it was about?
Yeah, I explained to her.
Oh,
She was thrilled.
hey, good evening, commissioners. Filling in for Dan Mewis, this evening, who cannot be here. So this is the review and selection of the House of the Month for April and May. And so with that, we'll begin just with a little bit of background. So, one of the ongoing projects in the Neighborhood Improvement Commission is tasked with selecting a House of the Month. This was created from one of the main duties of the commission, encourage citizens to beautify and upgrade their property and landscaping, and to remove items that adversely influence property values. The House of the Month program is the commission's way to encourage residents to upgrade their property. Okay, so looks like this is the first candidate here. This photo was taken April 2025, Ord Terrace. So this, if this is correct, 1951 Napa. Okay, and we can stay on this photo till I just get a confirmation you'd like for me to move on to the next photo. Okay, okay. This is 1860 Ord Grove. Yeah. This is 1705 Military.
That's very nice, very pretty with all the flowers. Yeah, mine too, I like that.
Okay. This is 2050 Hacienda.
That's very nice too, very clean.
Baked grass, very nice. All right,
This is 2080 Buchanan.
Mhm. Nice.
so do we want to vote on April's right now before we move on?
Wait, this is, oh, this is April, this is May on the thing. Oh, my-
So the next one would be into May. So what we can do is just kind of
Oh,
toggle through them once more if you'd like. I know you do have photos of them there, but there's no rush.
And it might be fine if we just pick our first and second maybe and then move on to May. I
Yeah.
don't think we need to vote.
At your discretion. Yeah.
Good idea.
Just a thought, because I already did.
well, my first, oh,
No,
He'll just go through the pictures and we'll just do
okay.
it. All right. All right,
Okay.
all right. Ready?
Yes.
Ready, everybody? Okay. How many votes are for the first one on 1951 Napa?
That was my number two.
That's number two.
Also my number two.
Okay. Let's go to 1860 Ord Grove. Zero. Okay. 1705 military.
That's my number one.
That, by the way, that was a very tiny home. And she or he did a great job. And I've driven by that before and I had that neighborhood maybe a couple of years ago and I put them on the list. And they didn't make it.
Oh.
But I don't know, maybe they didn't make it because they had been a winner in previous years that I was aware of. So I don't have that list anymore.
Okay, but I voted for that one too, so that's all five number ones, so.
Hmm.
And then 2050, Hacienda.
That was my two.
That was my
but-
two.
But it seems like we already got.
I know, so, and then 2080. Hacienda,
Buchanan.
I mean Buchanan.
Okay.
That's, that doesn't matter. So 1701.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Got it. Will be our nominee for the House of the Month.
We have to vote on that?
No, we just did, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think it'd probably be advisable to vote on it.
All in
yeah.
favor of a motion? yeah.
I motion that number 1705 military be number one, the winner, and house number 1951 Napa be the first runner-up.
Second.
All in favor of 1705 being the House of the Month?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays?
Can I just make a note to that? Oh. Go ahead, sorry.
And in second place, it would be the Napa House, 1951 Napa House. Are all in favor?
Aye.
You're the chair.
Nays? Yes. That's okay. Go
No,
ahead.
finish your-
I'm done. Passes for 1705 as the House of the Month. And then you will run the background check, sorry. You'll run the background check to make sure there's no, what do you call it? No zone violations, things like that,
Yeah, I will pass that
Also
on
in favor
to
of previous
Dan.
winner,
or previous winner.
Or that.
To the chair,
Yes.
we decided we weren't gonna look into previous winners. It's been quite a while. And remember when we had that discussion? We just went, if some,
Discussion.
But sounds good to me.
yeah, just go for it. It's hard. It was very difficult for them to find all the, to look for through all the lists. If they get two, more power to them.
And some got the plaque, some didn't. It just goes
Exactly.
back and forth, so I think we're sticking to our guns on it, so.
Well, is there any reason why they can't be a winner year after year if their house is maintained?
That's what we decided the last
Yes,
time.
we
It was
did.
just-
Okay.
We had that long, big discussion about it because
I'm glad you remembered that because I'd already forgotten.
But I think we should put a time limit on that though.
Yeah.
5 years or
we should try.
we should try and do that.
Yeah.
Because.
Well, it would have to go on another agenda.
Yeah.
First to discuss and vote it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we'll cross that bridge because there's a lot of nice homes.
True that.
Yeah, so,
True that.
Okay, for May 2025, we have Ord Grove. And the first candidate is 1301 Circle.
No, this is the one that citizen Linda Cunningham,
I suspected as much.
that she asked us to put on their list.
Thank you.
For our second, we have 1389 Mets. We have a third, 1395 Military. And next, we have 1940 Luzerne.
Are those bottles up there?
Mhm.
Oh, that's kind of artsy fartsy. Yeah, cool.
It's cool.
And the next one,
1575 Grove Avenue. Next we have 1925 Grandview.
All right.
all right.
Okay, I will go back through them. Oops. That was our first one, 1301 Circle.
No, I think you're off duty.
Right.
Okay.
So that one, I guess.
So we all set?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Can I start?
Yes.
And go down the, my number one was 1925 Grandview. Because I love when people sit out in the front of their house.
Mine too. That was my number one as well.
Mhm.
And number two was 1575 Grove Avenue.
Ditto.
Ooh, we
Mine
have
was too.
like mine.
We're on this. Right on the money.
To the chair, my number one was also 1925 Grandview, but my number two was 1389 Metz. So, but Grandview is my number one.
My first choice was, I don't know the number, the one on Luzerne, I think 1940.
1940, Luzerne,
And
with
the
the
other one's
bottles.
at 1575,
your number two.
yeah, 1575 Grove.
So my number one was Grandview, and my number two. Oh, there it is, 1395.
Oops.
So I like blue stuff.
Mhm.
So,
Hmm.
someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Sounds like 1925 Grandview is our May House of the Month winner. And the first runner-up is going to be 1575 Grove Ave,
Correct.
correct?
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Carries. 1925 Grandview is the May House of the Month.
Thank you.
Very nice pictures, Ramona.
Yeah,
You did a great job.
good choices.
That was just perfect.
So speaking of pictures with the business cards, now I feel comfortable that I can stand in front of someone's house, take a picture, if they walk out and say something. I have something to, or all of us. can
Yes,
say
for
here,
sure.
You know,
And thanks for printing this out too, Jennifer. This was really nice.
yeah.
Thank you. For sure.
Alrighty, business item 6B, debrief on the neighborhood cleanup event that took place on Saturday, April 26, 2025. Have a discussion and provide feedback.
Chair, I asked to put this one on the agenda, and it was simply because I wasn't there. I was, as you all know, I was helping my daughter move that day. For I think maybe the first one I ever missed. And I really, I don't regret it, but I always love doing the cleanups. But I saw a lot of information going back and forth about things that were on the list that could be included, but were actually not allowed. So I just want to go over that. What are the things we in the past have accepted in the dumpsters, the boxes, and did not. And we just get clarity on that if we don't already have it from Green Waste to make sure the city knows that.
I contacted Green Waste, Bessie, which is our new contact gal, and she sent me this list, okay? And they've been pretty relaxed on it because of shortage of people and all sorts of excuses. But like Bessie said, they gotta be a little bit more strict. So going down the list, and what I remember is usually the drywall, excuse me, I'll start from the top. Debris, no. Clean wood, not treated. We have some of that, but there's no charge. Painted wood, we have some that gets thrown in there, but it's $47 a ton. But there's the catch, doesn't have to be a ton. It can be 5 pieces of board. They can nail you on it, up to 1 ton. That's how they do it. Then if it's over a ton, then they just tack it on. Logs and stumps, I don't think so. Drywall, we see some of that thrown in after we close up. I've seen that in my dumpster, drive by. Clean concrete, brick, and rock. You know, we get a few of that. That's $2, which is nothing, but it adds up when it comes to concrete. Appliances without refrigeration, $10. With refrigeration is $20. Commercial appliances with refrigeration is $50 each. Electronic waste, of course, no charge. And it's okay for us to put that in the back, in the front where the doors are, just set it there and they'll get to it.
It's good to know.
Mattresses,
I'm sorry, where did you say to put it?
when you open up the doors,
All right,
right there.
okay, that's where I put it.
So the guys know where to get it. Mattresses and box springs. Less than 10 mattresses, supposedly there's no charge.
Really?
Wow.
And that's, I even checked it on the website.
But it was on the list that we don't accept that.
Well, I found out this list, I spoke to a previous NIC person. A lot of that was done by memory.
It's been the one that we've used over and over.
Yeah.
That's the list we were given.
By memory.
15 years ago.
No, that was the list they confirmed it last year.
Oh, they confirmed it?
Yeah. But
The-
we weren't charged, as far as I know, we weren't charged.
With Betsy?
We weren't, no, this is a new person.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're
So,
right. Yeah.
It was confirmed and we haven't been charged
Yeah.
for anything that's been thrown in the
Is
past.
that because lack of personnel aren't checking?
Yeah,
it?
and maybe that's why she's not there anymore. I don't,
No, she moved.
I shouldn't say those things, but anyway, but and then in boxes, springs, and mattresses over is $5. So it's not a lot of money. Or tires. But if you, like Betsy says, if you have a whole load of concrete in there, then they can get us on, well, they can get us on where concrete has to be in those lower bins, not the tall bins.
Right.
And so they can reject the load or do whatever, because it doesn't supposed to haul concrete at all. And the last one was treated wood waste, and I didn't know this, but it's $77 a ton,
Treated what?
treated wood. It's the brown stuff or the green stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. So I asked, well, what if someone comes along and throws the stuff in the dumpster after we leave? We own it,
Mhm.
so they pick it up. She says, that's how they do it at construction sites, they do it everywhere else. So I said, well, what if you don't show up till 2 o'clock? She said, you still. Which totally understand that we rented the box. We own it until it gets picked up. So we can try to get volunteers to sit at the box after we're done. Community help, or we just end up sitting there.
Until they pick up the box.
Until they pick up the box. They picked up my boxes at Mal's at 2:15.
To the chair.
Yes.
They also are not flexible about when they drop them off, because we both talked to her about that some of she said they might be there as early as 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure that, I'm not gonna be there at 5 a.m., but I'll stay till,
Yeah.
certainly glad to stay till they pick up.
Mine was dropped off at 5:45 because I can see them dropping it off from my big window in my house. And so I just kind of kept an eye on it.
Well, I can, through the chair,
Yes.
I can say that my box had a good deal of crap in it before I even got there. And I got there promptly. I mean, I think I got there like at 8:15, maybe 8:20, and we weren't starting till 8:30. So they hadn't, I don't know if they opened the door and then closed it, or just threw it over, but it was at the far end and there was quite a bit of stuff.
I caught a guy throwing wet paint buckets. He opened up the doors and was setting the 5-gallon weight. I made him dig them back out, put them in his car. He was pissed. He was, and he goes, well, it's free. I said, no, it's not. This is on private property. For one thing, it's on Mal's parking lot. And number two, this is the city that rented this, not you. And I made him take them back out because with the wet paint, if you set them out and let them dry, then it's legal to throw them away. But you can't have it wet paint.
Right.
So
To the
Yeah.
chair. So are we paying, I never knew this. I just assumed because we had for a certain number of hours of cleanup that we were paying an hourly rate. Are we paying a daily rate?
we're paying one rate for that box. Now, we can say we want it from 8:30 to 3:30. It doesn't matter to them. It just, they'll pick it up then.
Okay, so
And
it's
it's the same
sort of like a
price.
daily
Yeah,
rate.
it's a daily rate.
Okay.
Just like at a construction site.
Okay. So then I've got another question now. So we need to have, if we can get this list updated, because it seems like there's a lot of things on here. In all the boxes that I've manned, there were a lot of branches, small branches, things like that were thrown in. It's looking to me like, according to this, that's not allowed. In fact, I've even,
Like where?
logs and stumps, is
Oh,
that
no,
what that?
logs and stumps is totally different.
Oh.
Logs and stumps is 3 feet long and round stumps and logs. Branches and all that, you can throw in there all day long.
So, I have a comment about this.
Yes.
So I understand that we're being charged extra, but the whole point of us doing this is community cleanup.
Yeah.
These are exactly the things that sit in people's yards that don't ever get removed. And I did not know that tires and some of these things were on this list, but I'm saying that maybe we should go ahead and allow them anyway.
Yeah.
And just have, 10% extra set aside above and beyond what we're paying for the boxes to cover this, because we are trying to clean up the city. And this is the kind of stuff that people put in their yards and it gets rodents and all that other stuff, or mosquitoes. The tires fill up with water and then they get mosquitoes. We just want them gone. And sometimes they're just on the side of the road. So that's my feeling about it.
Yeah. So I spoke with Betsy about that. I think I spoke to, who did I speak about this on our commission? Anyway, of having a couple of dumpsters brought that we say mattress day. And anybody wants to drop off a mattress, they drop it off. And I talked to Mal's Dennis, and he said, you can bring in 4 dumpsters and just line them up, one for dumpsters, one for appliances, and then the trash part of it. He doesn't care, just so it's improving, because you're right, it's the mattresses, people they put them out in front of the street, says free. Well, with the big stain there and all that, no one's taking them. They
Right.
just stay there,
Right.
and they end up in the alleys. So I asked Betsy if we could make a deal. And she said she would talk to her supervisor and then we would kind of make a deal. And, rather than appliances being at $10 or whatever they are, $5 a piece. Because they understand what we're trying to do. They're
Right.
not trying to make a killing off this. They're really aren't. So, and I think with Bessie being in charge of it now, she's being really proactive. So,
To the chair.
yes.
they also donated 2 of the boxes
Yes, they
to
do.
us, and they are not charging this year, was my understand, for anything extra. And I didn't have anything in mind from this list. People, they know, there are people who go to the dump as well once a year. They know what's not allowed, and
Yeah.
they were polite, wonderful, helping each other. I had 2 teenage boys who were there. They kept coming back, helping people load it up. There was a couple who brought things from their neighbors all morning long. They had a little cart that they were towing along. They'd cleaned up their neighbors' houses, a couple of disabled people. That was the tone of the day. And anything we can do to keep that going.
Yeah.
I'll stay there all day if need be, but I think it's one of the best things we do.
I had one guy show up with huge truck tires, just huge. I just said, you can't drop those off, because they're more than $5. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
ones?
yeah, you're talking about your regular car tire,
Yeah.
not those big old truck tires.
Which I had a resident who found one on the side of the road and he said, can this go in there? And it wasn't on the list, so I said, sure.
Sure. Oh, no, you gotta go by what they're saying on the list. There's no doubt. But this kind of gives us a shot at what we can do, but if we make a deal with Green Waste and do the mattresses and appliances, you know,
Through the chair.
yes.
I've got a question for Mr. Mewis. Are you here tonight or? Okay. So it sounds like Green Waste hasn't been accumulating these charges, or charging of some of these things that have been put in there that they may have should have been in the past. Has the city hasn't been getting any extra charges besides just the flat fee for the dumpsters, is that correct?
Good evening, Board, Chair. Since I've recently taken this over, I'm not even sure where the invoices go. So to my knowledge, I have not seen any charges. I haven't seen the charge. I'm sure we'll probably get an invoice for this one now that it's over and done with. But we'll see when it comes in if they have these additional charges, but I have not been made aware of anything.
So part of the reason, I'm sorry, I just got a follow-up question. Part of the reason I'm concerned is that I remember it was years ago when we made, when I was up here in the council, we made the deal, and it was Green Waste versus was the other one that
Waste
Management.
Thank you. And we were, bouncing it back and forth, and we went with Green Waste, and that, we contracted with Green Waste to do services in the city, including picking up our garbage every Monday or whatever the day is, and then this, so there were certain items under that agreement, and if we make a deal, well, that deal will probably have to go through the city council, since it's a cost that they will have to then take on.
It would just depend, I guess it would depend on the cost of if we're entering into a contract, right? If it's under 25,000, then the city manager has authority to enter into those contracts. If it started at 23,000 and then there was an amendment, then it would have to come to the city council. So it just really would depend on what that initial contract would look like.
Bessie didn't know what we were being charged per box.
And I mean, I know she came and gave a presentation to the council, I think 2 meetings ago. So I think she's new into that position too. So she's still probably trying to figure out everything as well. And yeah, so I've not seen the invoice yet, so we'll see what it looks like.
But if she agrees to a box for the mattresses and appliances, we don't have to go to the city council. We just add that on to our.
Correct. So, I mean, the only thing would be is if the commission is getting into the deal where, like I said, where it's costing over $25,000, then we would have to, really look into that. But, I'm guessing that this cost is probably no more than 5, somewhere in that ballpark.
$5,000.
Yeah.
I thought somebody told me 3,500. 500 per box or something like that.
And that seems reasonable and about,
Yeah, 500 per box.
Yeah, that's what I
About 3,500. That's what I thought it was, what you said last year, but that's what's sitting in my head. But I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even in the past, it's not coming in, so it's coming somewhere.
Two freebies, we're ahead of the game anyway.
Yes, for sure. And I think you hit it correctly with green waste. They want us to do better, right? And so, but I think if you, I don't know if any of you caught the council meeting, there was an area where they're trying to, have the cities do better, and the city itself, we're kind of on that lower end. And I think it's programs like this that we're doing when it comes to the sorting, where we're seeing a lot of those extra items that are making it into the boxes that shouldn't be. And that's kind of bringing our metrics down. So I think maybe we can recruit some more volunteers to assist when we're out there to kind of help make sure that, we're not seeing those big truck tires or, radiators or anything like that that are finding their way into these boxes.
Through the chair.
Yes.
My only concern was after we depart for the day and before we get there. That was my concern, that people were just throwing things in the tire. We know to say no tires, but they'll come in at 1:15 and throw the tire in. That was my only concern, and I didn't know that if it was a greater cost or if they would just say, hey, City of Seaside, you're abusing our the privilege that we're giving you these 2 boxes, and here you are, putting stuff in that's not authorized. That was my biggest concern.
I tell people that try to come with stuff that we don't accept, I just say, we don't want to abuse our great deal we got with them. And so that's why we don't take it. If they say we can, and it's a freebie, then we would do it, but we can't abuse them. Because we're getting 2 free dumpsters that, they don't charge us for.
Take advantage.
And on top of that too, is that you got to think is if there's a continuous, I don't want to say it's abuse, but if we are continually to have items in those boxes that aren't accepted, what's going to end up happening is that cost is going to end up coming back onto the residents, right? In forms of rate increases and things like that. So while it may be minuscule to start, if it's a continuous piece, green waste is going to have to recoup their costs some way when it comes to sorting all this stuff.
But where are they supposed to put it? For example, where are they supposed to put the tires?
Well, that's when
The tire on the side of the road, where do you?
see, it's like when you go and dump anything, like if you go to the dump and you have a refrigerator, you can dump a refrigerator, but you're going to have to pay a cost to dump that refrigerator. Right. So it's a lot of these items that are here. There's a mechanism to do it, but people don't want to pay the cost to do it. So that's why they feel like they can come and, oh, no one's looking. Let's just dump it into this dumpster here.
Right. But I mean, isn't that the whole purpose? I mean, some of these people are on fixed incomes, or they just don't have it. And so isn't that kind of what we're taking on as the neighborhood improvement is we're saying, hey, we know that these things may cost extra, but we're willing to take them on these 2 days a year in order for you to get rid of them and improve our neighborhoods.
No, and that's a great point. But then I think the chair was on the right path by saying to establish certain buckets that we're going to be taking.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe, right, like and that's where we work something out with green waste. And we're saying today we are only taking mattresses. Right. So that way we have a dumpster that is full of mattresses, and then maybe they can give us a lump cost for that, or we're not mixing the mattresses with the refrigerators.
Right.
And maybe that we have something the commission can think about is when we do these biannual cleanups, we have one of those specific boxes that are for, maybe it's one time it's for tires, one time it's for electronics, one time it's for this or that. And then we can tell people like, hey, we're going to have this special box that is for this time. And
Right.
This is the location of it. So please dump those items there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I think that would be a great idea.
And also, people don't understand, if you are buying their service, like we all have to, you get a free pickup once a year.
I know.
That come along with appliance and pick up your appliance and your mattress and all that. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
They just don't. But I will talk to Bessie and try to get us a deal. But I like that idea, one dumpster there, and we're doing mattresses this time or something.
Sure, what I would like to do, because it sounds like there's more concerns, including the one that Ramona has us about before hours and after hours. I'd like to put this on this item, whatever you want to call it, on the next agenda. And if we can get a representative from Green Waste to come and ask, specific questions that we have, including, we'll talk about do we need to look at again, relook at us committing more hours to the box, or getting some friends or, to volunteer. But just, if we could just put this on the next item and really dive into it.
Desi has already said that she would be more than welcome to come and talk to us if we needed more information after what I just discussed. So,
Invite out.
uh,
Put the invite out then.
oh, yeah, I'll call it.
Instead of doing it, I agree with Dennis wholeheartedly, but maybe instead of doing it at the next meeting, maybe we should agendize it for August's meeting in preparation for the next cleanup in September. That way it's right then, just before we start doing cleanup.
Mike, will that be enough time to any questions that might come up after that to work them out? See,
Okay,
if we do it in June or July, that still gives about 3 months. So yeah, I mean, that's
That's good. Well, if we do it in July. July, in August, we do it first,
that sounds great. Good
whatever
compromise.
Saturday that we'll do it, and I'll set that up with her. She's more, I think like, she's new in the position, she's trying to make good headway. She doesn't have all the answers, but by July, she should have her feet wet and know what's going on.
I have one more comment,
Sure.
if I may, Chair. I sent out to all the NIC members I took some video with my iPhone of some of the people that came to my box on Highland Otis and Mingo. And some of them didn't want to be videoed. The people that I shared the video with the NIC, but there was one couple that didn't get videoed, and they were not residents. They were actually, I think they were staying at a house that was an Airbnb or something, and maybe for the marathon, since it was the next day. But anyway, they were walking along and they saw the dumpster, and they said, they just thought that was such a cool thing that our city was doing. And they were like, oh, what is this? Why? They were asking all these questions, but they were, an older couple, like retired or something. And they just were so effusive about how great it was that our city was doing that. And so I just wanted to share that with the NIC because I didn't get a chance to get them on video. And I just thought it was nice that we got that compliment. And everybody that I did video, love it. They just love this and they're so appreciative.
Like that. Any other comments, input? Let's open up to the public.
There's nobody online.
Public comment is closed. All right. Let's go to item D, marketing company.
No, C.
I mean C, I'm sorry. Receive an update on the fiscal year 24-25 recommended projects. Okay.
Yeah, good evening. So we'll just do a review of the projects from 24-25, and Dan will be commenting on some of them as well as we go through. So let's get started. Okay, so just a little bit of background before we get into this. So in July of 2018, the City Council adopted Ordinance 1054, which directed 50% of all transient occupant tax, commonly known as the TOT, which is generated by short-term rentals, the STRs, and to be directed toward community and park improvements with the Neighborhood Improvement Commission. And that is y'all. So providing recommendations for the use of the funds to the council for consideration and approval. So for fiscal year 24, 25, the allocated funding was $389,405.70. Okay. So the breakdown of this, you see the project list here at the top. There was the tree giveaway program, and that is ongoing. Okay. Second on the list here was, thank you. Thank you. It's a little bit small, the font there. Additional benches on General Jim Moore, and they are all installed now. Yes. Okay.
Is that plural? Wait, that, where was that installed?
On the same block.
Oh, okay, I didn't notice.
Yeah, any future ones that we do there, we'll be selecting alternate blocks for that. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay. The utility wraps, there are 5 of those, and those are now complete as well.
And we'll get into more of those projects. So this is just, we're just showing you the list of the projects that we're recommending.
Right.
Well, so I guess yeah,
At City
I think the battery's gone there. The additional bike racks.
Going forward with that.
There we go.
Be real.
It's working. I think the pointers wasn't working, but that's okay. So it was the additional bike racks at city parks. Okay. The Older Meyer Center mural for the west entrance wall. The Capra Park revitalization, which included a barbecue area and drinking fountain. Okay. The mural at the preschool. Thank you. Lincoln Cunningham Park play structure. We'll give you an update on that. Oh, okay. The water fountain and the refill station at Metz Park. The gateway sign. The barbecue at Lincoln Cunningham Park. The solar lights at the palm trees on Fremont. The park benches in Lincoln Cunningham Park. The Older Meyer projection screen. And replacement lights for Seaside Gateway sign at Canyon Del Rey. Okay, so this is a little bit more detail on each of these. So additional bench on General Jim Moore, that's completed and installed. The additional bike racks at the parks and downtown are on order, so have not been installed yet. The benches at Lincoln Cunningham Park are on order. Should be installed by the end of May.
Great.
The barbecue at Lincoln Cunningham Park is on order and scheduled to be installed at the end of May as well. The water fountain at Metz Park is completed. And we have some photos to show you on that one. And the extra funds are available to install one at Pachetti Dog Park. Okay. The murals and utility boxes. So the Older Meyer second mural will be starting in May. The preschool mural is awaiting revision for the city council direction. The utility box, the artwork was sent to Monterey Signs and finalizing the 5 locations.
So that's not.
Looks nice.
And have we
Side
received
fence.
any approval from PG&E on their
So
part?
these ones are ours. So these ones will be going on all city boxes.
Okay,
So we have it, we're completing all the ones for city boxes before we start working with PG.
What's
Yeah.
the last illustration?
To your left or your right?
Right, side,
The one with seahorses?
side, front, side, back, what does that mean?
That just means it's gonna be, so
What you see on
there's the seahorse, the middle one will be the front of the box.
And then the sides, and then there'll be a seahorse on the back.
And
I love that one.
one other question.
Yes.
The preschool mural and the Odemeyer second
Next
mural,
slide.
they're not the same size, but they cost the same.
They are the same size.
Oh, they are.
These are already up.
No, they're not. So.
Oh, that is.
No, so
Okay.
the one on the left was when we did the RFP the first time for the one that we had the one in the hallway of Homeland. This was the second choice. So we went with the second choice. So this one's gonna go above the entry from the west entrance.
Nice.
Yeah. And so the preschool mural, we brought it to council. We had two kind of the similar situations where we had two that were like neck and neck. Council like this one, they just wanted us to revise it to make it more inclusive of all diversity.
Nice.
So we have a preliminary design where we're changing the diversity in the children. So
Okay.
that's the design.
Nice.
Just a note on the utility boxes, most of those are traffic controllers, the large boxes. So they're, yeah,
Oh,
just
Thomas, I
As
have a
a
question about
matter
that,
of
if
interest,
I may.
yes.
Chair, do you mind if I
Yes.
ask that question real quick? You know, in front of Seagrove, there are those big green boxes. Are those cable boxes or are those city-owned utility boxes? Those big green ones that are along Broadway?
I will need to
Those
check.
may be PPE.
Okay, they are green. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I will take a look to
Even though they're
verify.
new, they're kind of an eyesore and it would be nice to have, if, you know, in the future, we could get PG&E to buy off and do these
Mhm.
wraps.
Mhm.
They probably. We just think it's good for us to show them, hey, look, this is what we've done
Mhm.
and how we want to continue that on yours.
Our vision, yeah.
Yeah, it would require just a maintenance agreement with them, so it's something we can work towards. Okay, and Capra Park. So you'll see here that there's the retaining wall in the back. There was
Love
a
that.
stucco treatment on the existing masonry wall that was done. You'll see in the center photo, that's the barbecue and the water drinking fountain, water filling station. And just today, on the last right photo, you'll see that the mural is going in.
That is so nice.
Yeah.
That mural was supplied by Blue Zones Project, and it was supposed to go on Nations Market. But there was some challenges with that, and we wanted to make sure that the mural stayed in that location. So we worked to be able to put it in the park. So
Thanks for doing that.
That looks great.
and who's that?
Park is gorgeous.
that's the same artist that is gonna do the second mural for the Bullmeyer, the one that's there.
And who is that?
Penny.
Oh,
So it's the same artist as the one on the left.
Blue zones.
Blue Zone, okay.
Blue Zones was the one that provided.
Nice.
Just for reference, it's the artist that did the boat.
Ah,
The fence.
Oh, he's the artist that did the boat.
Yes.
very
Okay.
good.
He's a good artist.
Yeah. I'll also point out in the center photo, you'll see that there's a picnic bench there, and it's an ADA compliant picnic bench as well.
It's
There we go. You'll see it from another angle. Let's see. And just one other thing to note, in the center photo, where that older bench is, that will be replaced with a game table.
A
Okay?
game table?
A game table.
What is that?
like chess.
Mhm.
Chess table.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And then lastly, this is the new signage that's been installed in front of Capra Park. So it says community garden and B City USA down below. Yeah,
Nice.
do they have beehives there?
Well, pollinator.
the pollinators.
It's a pollinator garden. Okay.
Yeah.
Why I did a walk through. It's just gorgeous. Everything's just gorgeous. It's just beautiful.
At
That's
the
really nice.
at the next city council meeting, we'll have the B Day proclamation
What's that?
for World Bee Day.
Three cities. So
B
we're
city.
just keeping a proclamation.
Yes.
So what does that mean when you say we're a B city?
So like we're a tree city USA. We're also a bee city USA, which means that we strive to create pollinator habitats for bees and birds and things like that, but really focus on bees.
Mhm.
Thanks, Nicholas.
Does it also mean we don't use Roundup at all citywide? We don't, right?
No, we're not using Roundup.
But it's not just that, it's neem oil too. There's other things that kill bees.
Yes,
Question, when we pour concrete,
yes.
can we request that it be made a different color, not painted, but put the dye in the concrete?
We can.
Kind of,
It's an
Or-
admixture
Yeah.
that you can do different colors with. That's the one way to do it. There's another way to do it that is just on the surface. Sometimes that flakes off and erodes, it weathers, but if it's integrated in as an admixture, it's throughout the
something to think about.
throughout the concrete.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Spark it up a little bit.
Surprised that the city didn't do that.
Huh?
I'm surprised the city didn't do that when we're
Uh,
hearing the.
Or even, like we said before, painting some of the sidewalks with, like a yellow brick road or flowers or
The
something.
flakes off after a while.
Added maintenance. costs.
Maintenance.
I know,
But it's in the concrete.
that it's
Yeah.
different, yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you. That's a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes as Dan was mentioning in the maintenance, if we have to replace certain sections of concrete, so when it's adjacent to it, it's very hard to match the color. But if it's a placement of concrete that's on its own, for instance, like in Metz Park, we could look at that as a color selection. Okay, so the Lincoln Cunningham Playground and Shade Structure. So on the coming council meeting, May 15th, there's an agenda item for approval of the funds to order the playground that will be installed in late summer. And then the shade structure will be installed prior to June 30th.
Nice.
June 30th,
Wow.
5?
Yes.
And there will also, and we said before too, there will be the picnic tables, lunches and barbecues too. And I was told that we may even have elected funding to add more than what was proposed. So we're gonna be trying to put as much in.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And just as an aside, the shade structure is actually being installed this week. So,
wow.
but we put that, for safety, if something, just in case something, does go wrong, so.
Where is it located? In the park.
It's,
In that central plaza,
Yes.
I think if you're looking, the basketball court is here.
Yeah.
Like this, it should be over here to the
Oh,
right.
okay. Right.
yeah,
So it's not over the playground?
No.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
this is like a
No.
gazebo, like where picnic area.
Oh, okay.
right. Okay, and this is the gateway sign and light. So, this is the new blue seahorse, that is at the top of Broadway. You'll see that this photo was taken as you go uphill, which says Seaside. So we're looking into basically taking those letters and repositioning on what would be known as the bull nose. So as you come off of General Jim Moore and down Broadway, so you're
Good.
entering Seaside.
And it says lights have been replaced, so there's lights lighting up the seahorse?
Not at this location.
Yeah,
On-
this one right here. There is lights there?
No.
So it should be, not on this one, the original. We
The
replaced the
line.
one that was part of it, we needed new lights on the one here on 10.
Canyon Del Rey.
Oh,
Yeah, and just just filler information, Broadway is slated to receive the traffic circles.
Right.
So, that's, several months out, before we actually get to bidding and then construction. So this, blue seahorse here will be removed temporarily and then put back. So right now we don't have power at this location. We could come up with a solar solution, to light this, which
Yeah, I think it
It's
would be nice
doable.
to have,
Yeah,
lights underneath.
Yes.
Shining on the seahorse itself at night, or even shining on the seaside on the bullnose.
on the bullnose. Yes.
Be proud of our town.
Has the council approved our plaques yet?
That is going to the, like, when we do budget and everything, right?
Okay.
So
But that's
gonna
coming
be
up,
put in the next phase.
because it's these kind of things that we need to put a plaque on. I was over at Dennis in the Menace Park, and they have a nice plaque up there, donated by the NS Neighborhood Improvement Commission. It's nice to see.
And, but we're, and just, since we're on that topic a little bit. We are so far ahead of the game as past years, right? I don't think you've ever been, the commission has never been able to go through the budget with your list already.
That's correct.
Right, so I think we are in good shape, moving forward.
Right on.
Excellent.
Good to hear.
Let's see, yes. Okay, so in progress. I was thinking about this in terms of solar lights, and that's the first item here is the palm tree solar lights. We're still evaluating those. We have purchased basically a couple samples. They're rings that go around basically the trunk of the palm tree. We have them lighted up. We have them lighted down. We're finding that they're not as bright as what we'd like them. So our next evaluation is to basically come up with something similar situation that it's the gateway entry sign at Canyon Del Rey, where it's a solar system with a additional battery, and then that would be placed within each island, and then that would electrically light each of the palm trees from the ground up.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's our next step. So
That's great. You guys really have this.
Will you need more money? for
Yeah.
that? Or
it's possible that we may. Yeah, we were trying to dig up the design that was done for the entrance, the gateway at Canyon Del Rey. That was not, no. Yeah, that's what I found out today. So, but we think we can replicate it. So, and then the last bullet point here is the older Meyer projection screen. So that's just it's in our hands. It's just waiting for installation.
And it's quite challenging because it is extremely large and heavy, and it will require multiple lifts to get it up. Where you think about it, it is up in the ceiling high. Wow. So it is, we have it and we're trying to figure that out. And one of the pieces that's a bit, is we just had the stage redone. So we were trying to figure out the best way to do it so we don't go in and mess up what we just did.
Oh, for sure. Are we on to questions? Because I have questions.
Yes.
So first question is, what are we doing with our old screen? The old screen from Oldermeyer, are we selling it? Are we dumping it? Can we donate it? I mean, is there something we can do? Because it seems like it may still be a workable condition, right?
Yes, it's functional. So we'll figure that out.
Okay. Two, the bike racks that are going in down at parks in downtown, are those the ones that were the different designs? Yeah.
That's my knowledge of that. Yes.
Okay, and then the water fountain, does that have a filter on it? Is that filtered water or does that have,
I don't know if it's filtered, but will be a bottle filler.
it'll be a bottle filler? So
It'll
no,
be like your typical water fountain that you would have in a park.
okay. Okay, so that's coming off of whose water? City water or Cal American water?
Just depends on the park, so if The one at Mets, I believe is, you say. It might be
Yeah,
Muni,
I don't know.
Pachetti will be Cal Am. Actually, Mets might even be, Marina Coast goes by the golf course.
Right,
So if that might be Ted Muni's.
Okay,
yeah.
But it will be either one.
The
Okay.
city's paying for it.
yeah, I just was wondering, I just was wondering.
The one at Capra is that
The water, just also, is that water filtered out there?
that one.
Yeah.
So these ones are easier to be filtered because there's power.
Oh, they require power? Oh, yeah. We
That's
did
too
have that
much,
problem
yeah.
at DLI. Nobody wanted to change the filter on
Hmm.
the water fountain.
Hmm.
Any other discussion, questions? Great job. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think things
yeah,
are
thank
looking really good. I mean, home runs here and
Okay, thank you. Always a pleasure to work on NIC projects. So
Super great.
we should get 15% more given to us then. I should dig on that, but.
Look, I know that that's a sore subject, but I did just want, just so for clarification. So everything above the blue line here in the middle, those were your initial requests. Okay, everything below, those were the ones that were added by council after the fact. So,
Because I didn't remember the solar lights at the palm trees and. Yeah,
yeah, so just so you can kind of see like where, where it was.
I, at this time, I should bring up, I talked to the mayor Thursday night after the discussion and, they made a statement by the finance person of how, they were averaging taking 17% off of our monies when we submit. Okay. And she said, and then that goes into the general coffers. The mayor instructed me and told me that that wasn't true. That they use that to do their projects.
And that will be it, just exactly like here, right? So they took, so right there, those bottom ones, that was the 17%, if you will, that was taken initially, or not taken, but reinvested in other areas.
And see, and we've all thought that it went back into the general fund, but really they've been using those funds to do things like that, which is good to see that at least it's not going back in the general fund.
okay, so let me just make sure I understand. So basically, we had tried to allocate all the funding that we thought we had with the things above the blue line, but they had retained 17% all along?
No. So so this didn't include the projects that the council declined or decide, you know what, hey, we don't want to move with that. So those monies that were for those projects equated to, I think that it's roughly $70,000 for those bottom ones. So that 70 then equated to 17% of the total of that 389.
Okay. So are they gonna continue doing that if, for example, if this second read happens and they all vote again like they voted this last time for the 15%, then are they gonna take anything they decline, are they gonna take those monies and the 15%?
I can't speak for them on that topic, right? Like depending on, I think the commission has come up with a really good list, right? I think we've vetted everything, working with Public Works, those projects should be good to go. So then you would think that the 15% right now would be going to similar projects to these ones that they did, right? And then, so it would be the projects you're proposing and then their projects that would be similar.
Okay,
And my feeling, what I've learned from other people is, and the mayor, very point blank, was very good about saying, he goes, you need to bring good things to us to look at. So they can't eliminate it, say, oh, we're gonna take that one off, take off, do due diligence and submit very good projects, you know.
Well, we
And-
haven't.
I agree.
Well, but some have been, we could do without, okay? And those we have to leave off think about what they're gonna do, since we know that's what they're doing. Because we don't want them to be taking 17 plus the 15. That would be.
Go ahead, Rim, I'm sorry.
I'm just, I think, I think now that we have a good, liaison, Mr. Mewis, that will help us
Yep.
get those good projects in. I think we didn't have any direction.
Yeah.
with him,
And Thomas.
even with Mr. Little, I hate to say that, but, he should have steered us away from some of the things.
Well, I'll give you an example is the jackets. That has rubbed a few people different
Yeah, I
on
don't
the
think we
council.
need any jackets.
And I just don't see that passing,
No,
Yeah.
name tags is fine.
Yeah, name
Yeah.
tags, business cards, things like that, but
Through the chair. Yes, I think that it's just we need to have real strict guidelines for what we can operate within for next year. There was a belief, and it was just based on the definition of what the Neighborhood Improvement Commission jurisdiction is that we could do things, we could listen to we can listen to pitches from commissions that don't necessarily leave brick and mortar. So we just have to have good guidelines that we can work within, so we know what we will accept and what we can't accept right from the get-go.
Yeah.
I agree. Did the mayor say anything about guidelines?
No.
I mean, he said good projects, but I
Yeah.
mean, we have all of the council members that all have a different idea of what are good projects. And, if we just had some guidance from the mayor, I think that would be really helpful.
well, that's why we are the NIC. We kind of do our thing here and we make up our own mind as a team. And then that's when we submit it. I don't think the mayor or the council people are going to say, well, you should be doing it this way, because then they're pushing us into the way they want us to. And they don't want that. They want us to be free to submit what we want, and then they battle it over it. I mean,
Yeah.
not battle, but you know what I mean.
I get that, but if they said the brick and mortar is a good one. I mean, that's a good direction. It's ambiguous enough, but still specific enough that we could say, okay, well, that's not brick and mortar,
Well, we've learned a few things, like the showers for the homeless. That was gone. I mean, none of them like that. And things like that. And we just gotta learn from our mistakes. And move forward.
And through the chair, and that's exactly what I mean. And same thing with the locks, because what that does, and we have to be clear with these other commissions, what that does is that pretty much leaves one commission totally out of the game.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing they can propose to us that is brick and mortar. So we just have to know what it is the council wants, what kind of projects they want to see. Because it doesn't mean it's a bad project, doesn't mean it doesn't help a neighborhood, it doesn't help the seaside
Exactly.
neighborhoods, but it doesn't fit within the guidelines of what we're given.
But the homeless commission did, recommend the solar panel charger, and we did vote on that, and that is going forward to city council. So the homeless, they have to get better ideas too. I mean, the city council the mayor wants us to have better projects. Well, maybe the homeless commission needs to have better projects as well.
Well, and then all commissions need to know this. They need to know
Right.
what are the guidelines what are the guidelines from which within they could work to make a proposal to us that we can further to the council. I'm just saying, we don't need to battle this out now right now, but we just need to have those guidelines for next year.
Totally.
And if I may, I think if you look at this list right here, this is pretty on point on the types of projects that they would want to see, right? So if you kind of stick within this and kind of what we worked on this current one's gonna be brought to them, I think there's a lot of good substance here that you can build off projects for the future,
Right.
right? And kind of picking those pieces out, because this is really right on line.
And the homeless.
Good point.
commission might walk up to the council and say, we would like to do showers, and they might approve it with the monies they got. I mean, you don't know where they're going. They just want us to stick to our guidelines. That's all they're asking.
Good point,
And,
right?
Yeah, and just work with it, but I think we're doing great. I really do. It's good.
To use a baseball reference, the unwritten rules. You know, like,
That's for sure. So, all right, cool. Well, thank you very much.
No, we have number D.
Yes, D, marketing company, the filming.
We added that. You never got back to me, Mr. Mewis, Dan, about that. Remember, we talked about it last month and I sent you an email asking,
so, yes, and I didn't know it got added, so,
you don't have any information?
we reached out to him and we're working on a plan. And so right now, there's also a plan with the city clerk's office, really. So we're focusing on all the commissions. That's because, I know that the NIC wants to do one specifically, but when I brought it to the city clerk, she was like, we want to do it on all commissions. So it will be, we're going to have some pieces that will focus on NIC, but we'll also focus on, everyone on the marketing, recruiting and things like that. So there is a process in place. I don't have a timeline right now, but I have reached out to them. They are aware of it and I'm working with the city clerk on that.
Okay, that's great. And I was telling, before you came in, I don't know if you heard, but I did get some videos, takes of people that were at my dumpster. And I would like, I don't know if the city will want those. I'm not in them. I've just my voice, saying excellent or whatever. But I'm going to send them to you and then maybe you can decide if they want to use those or not.
No, and that's good because if any kind of footage or photos or things that we have, they can put that in the video, whether it's, still shots or even including some of that data too. So anything we have, it's good to compile it when you're in your events, when you're doing things like that. I think that's really good.
Great. Excellent. Okay, that's good. That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
I'll try and have more updates, but right now, because I don't know at the last council meeting too, there was a request from Councilmember Burks about commission marketing and things like that. So we're kind of tying it all in together.
Let's go to number 7, reports from the commissioners. Start down there.
I have a couple.
Sure.
First of all, I just want to check on the tables for the Oldemire Center for the, what are the smaller rooms? Just, we didn't put it on our list because you were working on that with Parks.
Yeah, we're trying to see the challenges right now is we are dealing with a budget challenge through the city. So there's some areas we have to really look and see where we can. I'm gonna look and see if I have any money in my budget left over now, and maybe I can work with Public Works if he has any leftover funds that we can kind of pull things from this fiscal year before we run out, before June.
We might be able to get some donations if that is something we could do.
I mean, we'll see because I think,
To meet it.
yeah, we should be able to at least hopefully get a few of them.
Good.
Yeah.
It's just that they're dangerous, they're cutting our fingers. No, and the other one I have, which is awesome, we reached out to the DLI for volunteers for our quilt show. And 7 soldiers showed up and moved all our stuff. And they said, tell everyone they need their volunteer hours. So we could possibly get them to help us on the cleanup days.
For sure. What
Show up early.
I never
stay
even thought
late.
about that, but that's.
They were
great.
absolutely wonderful. I didn't have to move a box.
Who did you talk to up
Nothing.
there?
Tatum. Don't ask me more. I got her number. Excellent news. That was awesome.
I don't have anything, thank you. Except to say that I really appreciate these for the record. These are really nice and this will be really nice. That's the only thing.
I would just like to say thank you very much again for a great day on Saturday of doing the cleanup. I mean, it just was clicking. And I forgot to tell everybody, we have to keep the stuff from falling over the edges. That was one of their big things. We did a great job. Really appreciate it. And Chandra did a nice drive around.
Yes,
and
she did.
relieved the people.
She did.
So it's good.
I know.
All right.
Oh.
Reports from the staff. Oh. Yeah,
There were
he had
findings
to
that
adjust all mine and push it down and do all sorts of stuff, and he ran that tarp over, and of course it ripped and he owed that. So, reports from staff.
I don't really have any reports right now. Other than, wearing my hat as the recreation director as well. The new activity guides are out. We have a whole new form of recreation program starting, for registration beginning in June. We have our annual, Mother's Day brunch this Saturday at Oldemeyer Center. So it starts at 10. So that's a nice, event for everybody if you want to come on out and take a look and see what's going on over on the recreation side.
It's free.
It's free for mothers and grandmothers.
Oh, really? Nice.
There you go.
And it's at 10 on
We'll
Saturday.
start at 10, the lunch will serve, doors open at 10, will be served around 11:30. There's lots of performances and things like that. So it's just a nice big welcoming event.
Thank you.
And close the meeting. Anybody want to-
I motion.
Oh, second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You already
The
seconded.
vote, please.
All
Yeah,
in favor? Yay.
all in favor? Lost it. The nays. It carries.